Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another uneventful day in the life of Jennifer and Jason, where we bring to you a podcast called A Guide to Poor Parenting. A podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer,
have a few drinks
and talk shit about our kids.
Please follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Guide to Poor Parenting.
And Twitter, Facebook, TikTok at Poor Parent Pod.
Hopefully I'll get that intro right eventually.
I mean, you get it right.
Variety is the spice of life, right?
That's right.
That's right. Meet Jennifer. How's your week been?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. Stress at home, stress at work, just very stressful. But
is your son causing you stress, Jennifer?
No, not my son. Can you imagine? Yes, of course he is. Yeah, it's been a week. But it's okay. I'm going to get through it.
How's the foot doing after all these months now?
It still hurts. The weirdest thing happened. It was yesterday. Driving to drop him off here. I was at a red light and it felt like someone was putting a taser to my big toe. And it just kept like that electric shock. Like I didn't know. I was just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Just making all the noises inside the car. Wesley didn't even, acknowledge, he don't care. But it lasted like 3 minutes. The hell was that? Luckily, he hasn't done it again, but it was just...
It's your nerves coming back to life.
Very painful.
Yep.
Yeah. But work is,
Work.
Stress.
Yeah.
Home is stress. I also was very upset with myself because I forgot the Boys and Girls Club school hours, and I was picking them up before 6 Monday through Thursday, and I thought it was 5 on Friday. I could have been picking him up before 7. I could have given myself a whole nother hour of Wesley.
Not have to deal with him.
Yes. So, next week. Yay.
Yay.
I was supposed to be off on Friday. My coworker had to take a few days, so I did a half day. And then my mom got off of work early, so we went to have... Nice. So I had a nice bougie lunch with my mama.
Ooh, did y'all go to that new Stone Age Korea that you like to go to?
No, she was dreaming about a steak salad from J. Alexander's. And she had went with Pops, I guess like a month ago, and it was a special.
Right.
It was just the vinaigrette that she was dreaming about. That's on this. So when I called and they were like, well, we have this filet salad, a Caesar filet. And she's like, I don't want Caesar. I was like, was there any, I said, do you have the one that you might have had like a month ago? And she's like, well, when you get here, just, you can talk to the waiter. Okay. So he made it the Caesar filet, but with the vinaigrette.
Oh, okay.
So she got everything, but I think like the one she had avocados in it. So she didn't really miss that, but that was the only thing that was different on the salad. But she loved it, and I had me some steak tacos.
Did you go to the J. Alexander's in
near the Trash Pandas?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I know of.
Is there? I thought there was one out in Cliff Farms.
Oh, I don't know.
So for our Canadian listeners in Saskatchewan. Huntsville is bordered by kind of a rich white suburb called Madison, and we have a AAA baseball minor league baseball team called the Trash Pandas. Yep. And there's they just built up this whole new area around the Toyota field where the Trash Pandas play, and a bunch of restaurants and apartments. And J. Alexander's I only know of it in Nashville, so it must be a southeastern restaurant because I haven't seen it anywhere else.
Yeah. But, it was bougie.
Yeah, it's kind of overpriced Americana food.
I mean, my steak tacos. I didn't want beans and rice because I usually don't like that. So I got sautéed corn.
Okay. It
was really yummy.
Good.
And then I ate everything, which is a surprise. And then I even got a cheesecake with raspberry puree on it and handmade whipped cream. And then the waiter, his name was Cortez. And he was really nice.
Is he a little gay boy?
I want to say that he was family. I'm not 100% sure, but, I feel like my gaydar is pretty good. But I was like, is there any way that I can get some more raspberry? And he was like, yeah, of course. And so, I just drowned it in the raspberry, and me and Mama was eating on it. So it was really good. I mean, expensive, but that's what my mama wanted, and my mama has done so much for me in my life, and I love my mama, so I will spend it. I did see there was an iHeart Sushi Express over there. I was like, what's the Express mean? Because, I mean, they're not that slow. Like, you know.
Maybe it's like a fast casual.
Oh, I guess so. I don't know. But that made my Friday kind of nice until I picked up Wesley, because Friday morning so every morning I put on the light for him. That's like a soft wakening. He never wakes up from it, but that's what bedroom? I try to in his bedroom. To try to get him up like a warning.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're about to have to get up. So I'm in the bathroom getting ready, and it's not even time for me to tell him like to get up. And he gets up and just walks right by. Okay. And then he walks back by, and I'm like, okay, he must have just went right back to bed, or he must have done something. I don't know. So I look in the room and he's up. I'm like, oh, okay. So he does his thing while I'm doing my thing, getting ready, says nothing to me. So it's like
peaceful in heaven.
Oh my God. And I'm not trying to jinx anything, so I'm not saying shit.
Yeah.
And then we drive, and he only says, will you please roll down the window so that way we can let the bug out? And I'm like, okay, roll down the window, bug goes out. Get to your house, will you please message Jason to tell him about my tablet? And I'm like, did he just say that?
Wow.
He said it correctly, and it
wow.
wasn't a sarcastic. It wasn't loud. Like sometimes he likes to yell it at me. What the fuck? Like invasion of the body snatchers, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm at work and I'm talking about this to my coworkers, and Caitlin's like, you better give that boy some ice cream and some donuts and like, you know, reward him for his great behavior. Mm-hmm. So I go pick him up at Boys and Girls Club, and I'm like, where would you like to eat since you were so great this morning? And he was like, oh, he said something like, I gotta hold you, Ma. And I'm like, you gotta hold me. He was like, this morning I was mad.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. He was like, I was mad and tired. I was like, so you weren't trying to be good? No.
Oh. Well,
like,
try that like, more often than you did.
I was like, okay, so I still go get him McDonald's because I had already said I was going to get it for him, but I'm not going to get him ice cream and donuts for just being mad and tired. Like, he's not actively trying to be good.
Well, I mean, even if his internal monologue was pissy, at least his external was good.
Yes, but I'm, you know, because he's trying to get something done with his head. Something where I got to go to the barber shop for him and spend lots of money.
Yeah.
And he said on therapy on Thursday that he was going to be good for a week. Friday, I thought that was starting because Thursday was already, he stole a Coke. I didn't have it at lunch. I mean, you know, he's already like being bad. So I was like, he's starting it. And then as soon as he gets in the car and he's like, I was mad. And then we're at McDonald's and then he's like, you do too much. And I'm like, there it is.
Oh, Mom.
I was like, if you just shut up, if you just don't say nothing to me, that would be perceived to me to be good.
Yeah.
Just do what you're supposed to do.
You and your crazy ideas.
I mean, it's not like I'm asking much here. Just shut up, you know. But yeah, so he was just an asshole again last night and an asshole again this morning. So he ain't gonna get nothing extra. I just don't.
Yeah, you don't play that game.
I mean, because I'm like, look, I am actively doing nice things for you. And you do not do anything unless it is something you want. Like, there's no, let me help you with these groceries. Well, you didn't ask. Baby, I shouldn't have to ask. You should just offer. That's nice.
You and your crazy ideas, Jennifer.
I know. But yeah, so Mama made up for the stressful week.
Good.
How was your week? Felt like I talked for like 20 minutes there. Sorry.
It's been good. It's actually been a while since we recorded. Since we banked a few ahead of time. I think we didn't record last weekend. So a lot has actually happened. One, I have a brand new grandson.
Woohoo!
Mr. Elijah finally came.
Oh my God, he's so adorable.
He's so precious. Alea gave birth about. This episode probably release in end of August, and so he was born mid late July, and she did great with it. I took her to the hospital on Thursday, and I think it was Friday. I took her to the hospital on Friday, and then she didn't give birth until Saturday at 6 the next day.
So July 26th.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Because you sent me a picture.
Yeah. And, she said they gave her something, Pitocin, I think, is when they... Pitocin, to soften up her cervix because her blood pressure was starting to spike a bit. And she started having contractions, but it took like 24 hours for her cervix to finally open up.
Wow.
And then once they started pushing, it was 20 minutes and that baby was out.
He was here.
He was here.
And he is so pretty.
He's so precious and
And-
beautiful.
And just lovely. Yeah.
And he's pretty quiet. He cries when he wants food and he gets cold, but other
Right.
than that, he's pretty quiet. Both grandmas got to come over and see him. So Nana,
Oh, Nana got to see him too? Aw.
last week, this current week we're recording, Nana and Grandma came over on Thursday. I found a new recipe I had made ham for Jennifer and my family, and had some leftover ham because I wanted to try this navy bean soup, and it turned out pretty good. I liked it. Kalia she didn't like the beans that much, but
Did Justin like it?
yeah, Justin and Kyle. Justin wasn't here; he was working, but Alea liked it, and Kyle liked it, and my mom and Nana liked it. So Kalia didn't like the beans, but
She just ate the ham and the juice. What else did you put in it? Was it just ham and beans?
ham, beans, carrots, onions, and celery.
Okay.
And some like seasoning and tomato paste.
Okay.
But it turned out really good, I thought. I will make it again, but maybe like make something else for the kids because about it.
Yeah,
Although I did make I for our 12 listeners, I have a recipe from the New York Times called a no-knead bread recipe. And Jennifer loves it. And I prepped it the day before and I threw it in the oven. And then when I got it, I was like, I didn't put any sea salt on top or any rosemary. And so I got it out. I was like, it wasn't bad. It was still bread, but I was like, that's kind of bland. So that was not. But when you sopped it up with the soup, it was really good.
Yeah.
And then the week we're in right now, I volunteered a couple of times at Shenanigan. Kim and Jessica said hello to our listeners. I know half our listeners probably come from Shenanigans. So we're going to get Jess back on the podcast soon, I think.
Yeah.
What else happened? Clea started her period. I warned her yesterday. I was like, you're probably going to start your period. And this morning she's like, mark your calendar. I was like, I didn't. Because I track it in my calendars just so she'll know about when.
But just that.
Well, it was funny because I went and kissed her this morning because she was sitting on the couch and she's like, mark your calendar. No context. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, is the day you're going to clean your room? She's like, no, I start my period. I was like, oh, well, give me a little more context and mark your calendar.
Yeah. Tell me why I'm marking said calendar. That's funny.
So, and she actually, like, I was holding Elijah about 3 hours ago before you came over, and Kalia was kind of cuddled up on me. She was getting all jealous of the baby. I was like holding him, and she was touching his belly, and I was trying to put my hand on her knee. She's like, stop putting your hand on my knee. And I'm like, God damn it, let me cuddle you and love you. You're all my babies. Jealous little shit. So, I think something else happened, but I can't remember what. Yeah, well, it's been a pretty good week.
Yeah.
So, busy little bee. Kalia and Wesley. I think the kids started school since we recorded last.
They had their first full week last week.
I'm still figuring out that because before Jennifer would drop Wesley off at my house and I would drive both kids to school because she goes to work earlier because I work at home so I can start.
Show off.
But I'm still kind of like Wesley's middle school is down the street from Kalia's. So I'm still trying to figure out the correct time to leave in the morning. Okay. So the
logistics of it all.
Yeah, the logistics of it all. So I've been okay. Kalia's been just on the cusp of being late a couple of times because I dropped Wesley off first because he's he's closer.
Okay.
But Kalia's been I've gotten her there at 8:02 instead of 8 o'clock. But
gotcha.
She just snuck in. So I'm like, fine.
Just sneak in.
Yeah, I was like, they don't care. Especially for the first or second day, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Although it was weird for Huntsville City Schools. They started on a Thursday, which is very odd to me.
One school started on a Friday.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So I'm like, okay.
I was like, why?
And then my coworker Caitlin, she's out in a different county. They started a week after our kids, and they get a half day every Friday. Like they get all out at 12. Maybe not a half day, but they get out early every Friday. And then they start later and they end earlier and they get less hours. And she's like, they just don't want to teach them.
They
And I was like,
they don't have the money to. Probably it sounds like budgetary concerns.
I mean, they don't want them to be there,
Is
but
it
we
Madison-
want them to be there.
Is it Madison County?
No, she's in a whole different county. I want to say it's Marshall.
Marshall.
But she was just like, yeah, my kid goes this time, but Friday she gets out early. She rides the bus. So she was telling me school starts at 8:30, but she gets on the bus at 6:30 a.m.
Jesus.
I was like, oh, poor kid.
And my cousin in St. Louis, her kids don't start till almost September.
But don't they go to like a fancy like private school or something?
But like even private schools tend to mirror the public schools schedule. Like not perfectly maybe, but it's pretty close. And even I think I was talking to someone in Texas and they said they don't start closer to September. So I don't know. I was glad to have them go back just because Kalia developing brain rot watching TV all day long, and
Yep.
I was just like, get the fuck out of this house, go back to school.
Yep. Don't get in trouble.
Yeah, she's a pretty good rule follower.
I'm not saying her.
Yeah, she's a pretty sensitive little girl. The big thing is she gets overwhelmed and blows up. So that's her big issue to work through.
Right.
But I'm just glad they're back. And she seems to, like, she was really nervous the day I took her to the meet the teacher day. And it was kind of irritating because it was like the school did not send out information on when they were supposed to go back to school.
Right.
Or when we were supposed to meet the parents.
Right. Teacher.
And yeah, jeez, can I get that word right? And so I called the school and like, hey, when are y'all doing that? Because I think it was Wednesday. And she's like, oh, it's today at 4. I'm like, it's for the email or something. Because I don't remember ever getting an email from Huntsville City School. So we went and Clea was like, I could tell she was really nervous about her teacher. Because I think Wesley had talked about his old teacher. Because she's got his old teacher and he didn't like her because she was strict.
Yep.
And so I could tell was nervous about it, and she was just like driving me crazy waiting in the auditorium to go get like the car rider tags.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's like, I don't want to stand in line. I was like, go walk around, see your friends. She's like, I don't want to do that. I was like, girl, chill the fuck out, please. I was like, you were driving me nuts at the moment. She was just bitching and whining. And then we went and talked to Miss Tisha, who's been on the podcast. Love her. Hopefully we'll get her back on the podcast again soon. But she like cried with Miss Tisha. Like you could tell she just had a lot of emotion. And I was just like, girl, it is not that deep. Would you
don't listen to Wesley?
Fuck out.
I liked his teacher.
Well,
and the only reason why he says that she's strict is because he don't do what he's supposed to do. So of course he's gonna say that because he's a bad kid. Yeah. She's a good kid for the most part. I'm not saying, no kid is like the, absolute greatest of all time. To me, she is. Because, I don't have to deal with none of that because I'm just the auntie. But she should never listen to Wesley. I mean, Wesley knows shit.
And the teachers, like, Kalia's a pretty good rule follower for the most part. She's so sensitive. Like, she does not like her being yelled at or getting in trouble. So
or criticism or any of that stuff. Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about her. And she seems to like the lit.
Yeah, that's why I was trying not to say it.
Yeah, so if it slips out, I'll go edit it out.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's going to be a good year. I'm missing, Tisha's no longer at the after school at Blossomwood, which I'm sad about. She's at a different school. So I get to see her all the time.
Yeah.
But going back to school, and I know this is supposed to be not, we have a topic to talk about, but I got to play a little bit of, you remember the game Telephone, kid? Like someone says something and you pass along?
And you kind of whisper it in the next person's ear, and by the end of the conversation, it's a completely different topic.
So
our podcast.
Just like our podcast. I had, Kalia got sent home a thing asking if she could go to space camp. So they're going to go for a week at space camp in May.
Like for school?
Yeah. They're going to actually get to go to space camp, spend the night for a whole week. And I was like, let me talk to Zane. But I was like, I'm fine with that. It's $600, which I think they must have gotten a huge discount because that's like half the cost I think it is for like non-school students.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, yeah, that's fine. So the next day, Kalia was telling me that one of her friends was like, oh, her mom's not going to let her go because there was a trans person touching on kids. And I'm like, what the heck are y'all talking about? Well, no, at first it started off with the girl, one of the girls was, her mom wouldn't let her go because there was a trans person or something like that. And then she started making more comments. And I told Kalia, I was like, baby girl, I was like, you're more in danger from straight white married men than you are trans people.
Yeah.
Much bigger, because they're 99% of the population of pedophiles are straight white married men.
Yes.
And I was like, trans people in general make up a teeny tiny little percentage of the population.
Yeah.
And so she brought it up a second day, and I was laying on the couch and I Googled it. I was like, and it was just a trans man worked at Space and Rocket Center at the space camp. A parent complained about a trans person working there.
Oh my God.
And they got reassigned. There was nothing about kids getting touched or like inappropriate behavior.
Oh my God.
It's just a parental complaint of being around kids. So I told her, I was like, baby, so like if your friends say it again, just tell them I looked it up on the news and
they're okay.
No one's touching kids.
Right. Well,
except
if there is, then it's not going to be that person.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that just makes me so mad.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Good old transphobia in Alabama. So yeah. Oh, and I did forget what I was thinking of.
Okay.
I got to go on a podcast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot. We had
Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, the episode before this one, Brian on his podcast, Raging Heart On. I'm still not entirely sure what his podcast is about. I think it's LGBT experience.
And he's trying to help.
Yeah.
It sounded like it was like, trying to help.
Yeah.
Talk about like go to therapy, like try to talk, tell people it's okay. Don't let what your parents told you.
Yeah.
When you're young, the whole suck it up. Don't, boys don't cry.
Yeah.
That whole thing. I think he's just trying to talk with people and then just trying to show that, you can get better.
Yeah.
There are ways.
Yeah. Trauma stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I couldn't think of the word.
So he mostly asked me about parenthood and how I became a parent. Although he posted some clips to TikTok, and I was like, Brian, why do I sound like I'm at the bottom of a well? And he's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. I was like, baby girl, you need to start sound checking yourself. Jennifer gets so not irritated, but she suffers through my mic checks.
I don't get irritated at all.
And I
want
myself.
You to make sure that you get what you want it to sound like.
I corrected myself. I said you suffer through it.
But I don't.
Well, I appreciate whatever you do sitting there mic checking with me. But yeah. But it was a good podcast. I think it's already out. If you check out the Raging Heart On podcast. It also convinced me I think we need to go to video episodes for next season. And Jennifer's not excited, but she has never listened to an episode, and because she doesn't like her voice and she doesn't watch our TikToks. So I keep telling her, it's like, no one's going to care and you're not going to be seeing it. So don't worry.
Yep. Even if someone does care, I won't know about it because you won't tell me.
That's right.
I just, yeah.
I know.
I don't know why I am the way that I am, but
you are not alone, and you are a doll for doing this with me.
That's true. And the way that I am talking about that is just like, I don't look at.
But for our listening
shades,
audience,
I'm gonna have the hoodie and I'm gonna have it zipped up so you can't see my face.
I will imagine you'll be wearing shades just because we'll have to have some lighting.
Oh yeah, well that's just not because of the podcast. That's just because of my headaches. But they are somewhat better. I mean, I'm crossing fingers that all these pills I take.
You're an old woman, Jennifer.
Yeah, so I went to the neurologist in Vanderbilt, right? Mm-hmm. Because my neurologist was like, "Hey, I've done everything that I can think of.
Right.
So I'm going to send you to Vandy." And I hadn't seen them for like 6 months, maybe longer. And when I told him, so when my foot surgery, I started taking a nerve pain, medicine called gabapentin. And so I was taking 300 milligrams, like morning, afternoon, and in evening. And I was like, I don't know if that's a lot. He's like, psh. So now I'm taking 600 morning, afternoon, evening. Because I told him, I was like, the only thing I can think about is I used to have a headache every day, all day. Now, it ranged from a 1 to a 10. And I got so used to them over, 3 years? That to a 4 or 5, I got so used to them that I had to think about if I had it.
Right.
And at one point, someone, after, I think it was maybe 3 months after surgery, someone said, how's your headaches doing? And I'm like, so I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I actually don't have a headache right now. And when I went to see him, he said, I'm so glad that you think that's what it is, because we'll just up it and, keep it going. Because he was fixing to send me to Chicago.
Oh, jeez.
Because he really didn't know what to do with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm his first, I guess, long COVID patient. And he's fixed all the other ones. And in essence, with either the Botox or, because we've tried probably 30 to 40 different medicines. And then I had physical therapy, and then I had shots, and then, all that stuff.
Yep.
None of it worked. I have a foot surgery. My foot hurts, but my head doesn't now. So fix one thing and then another thing starts to hurt. So, but that's about the shades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me not wanting to be on camera is just, I don't like the way I look. So
when we do go on camera, please post beautiful comments about how beautiful Jennifer is.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll tell
I
her.
won't see them, so it's okay.
But I'll report to her all the nice comments.
Yeah. If you say something negative, Jennifer won't see. You might piss off Jason. It ain't coming back to me.
Yep. She ain't looking. Although there's a podcast that utilizes your favorite catchphrase of "I've had it." No, yours is "I'm done." Never mind.
I'm done. Yeah. I was gonna say.
No, but there's these two ladies, probably about our age.
Is it those white ladies?
Yeah, the two white ladies. They're always bitch about shit.
Yeah.
As we bitch about our kids.
Yeah.
But they,
I don't know.
They have an episode every now and then where they read negative comments. Like their producer will read, and they just cackle at them. So
okay. I don't think I could do that. So
well,
maybe one day.
Maybe one day
I'll think I'm beautiful like you tell me all the time.
Well, another reason I was telling Jennifer I want to switch us over to video podcasting is that at Shenanigans there are 2 other podcasts associated with Shenanigans. One is called one's called Clown College, which is 4 stand-up comedians, and they just have a podcast where they just bullshit together and have a good time.
Which is always a good time.
Yeah, and theirs is a video podcast, and I think they do have an audio version that they post to places, but they have a video podcast, and they're already at 400 subscribers on YouTube, and they're doing they're about to do their second live show.
Oh, wow.
And apparently it's well attended.
Wow.
So, and they've been going, they're a third as old as we are. So I'm just okay, the power of YouTube is immense apparently. And I also,
YouTube compels you.
But also, I think they're also they've been boosting theirs a bit.
Yeah.
So I think that helps too. But they also have, and I noticed this with Brian's podcast, The Raging Heart On, that he utilizes something to create social media clips. And I think if we did that in YouTube form, it wouldn't be just our cocktail reviews. And so we'd be able to put out a lot more content.
Gotcha.
So that's why
I just do this for you.
I know, and I appreciate you.
You feed me.
I liquor you
up. You liquor me up.
Well, speaking of liquor.
And then you tell me how beautiful I am.
Speaking of liquor.
It's always nice to be told how beautiful you are by a gay man.
Yes.
Because they have no ulterior motive.
Yes.
And speaking of liquor, since you said it 14 times.
Speaking of liquor.
What are we drinking today, Jason?
Jennifer and I were trying to figure out what to drink today, and it's like, oh shit, let me find the recipe. So I was looking at gin because I just bought a new bottle of gin.
And we're not drinking gin.
Yeah, because we couldn't also find any recipes that sounded good that I had the ingredients for. And so I was like, well, I found this thing called the Ward 8, which was
orange juice, lemon juice, grenadine,
and rye whiskey.
And rye whiskey, yes.
Yeah.
So we're not drinking that.
Nope.
We're drinking the Jason.
Yep. So, because I went to my liquor cabinet, which is my closet, and I was like, "Where's the rye whiskey?" I couldn't find it, so I was like, "Oh, I've got this Canebreak whiskey from Tennessee that we drank once last year," and I was like, "Okay, why don't we just?"
Is that when we drink it?
I don't know. It's been a while.
Oh, wow.
But I was like, "Why don't we try this?" I'm pretty sure I've got pineapple or orange juice and lemon juice.
Yep.
Had a little bit of lemon juice, no orange juice. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, shit. So like, I got lime juice. So how about some lime juice, simple syrup, and grenadine, and the whiskey, which
Yep.
is not a rye whiskey.
Nope.
So it is.
It is not the Ward 8, but it is the Jason.
It's the word J.
There you go. And it's yummy. It looks
Yeah.
like Kool-Aid because of the grenadine. Excuse me. And
It's kind of sweet.
I made mine sweeter because I like the sweetness. You
Yeah.
made yours probably more sour.
No,
Or
I
did you
kept it to what
kept it
we
to
had.
the way it was. So I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I'm almost done.
Yeah.
I could drink it again, definitely.
I'm about to say, we've been at this for 30 minutes already.
Oh wow! Okay, so we're talking about isolation today,
Well, I'm sure.
and how you feel isolated when you're stressed with your kids and your life.
Well, Jennifer and I were talking. I was like, what if we need, like, we're always struggling to think of ideas for topics.
Yeah. So if you have any for us that
Yes,
you want to
please
hear,
email us.
I mean, please, guys, because we know you're listening. We see it, but we're not getting anything.
Yeah.
So help us out here. But this is a good one.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see Missy Elliott because she came close. Like it was, I think I could have gone like 4 to 8 hours to drive to go see her. And I would have done that as a single person.
Yeah.
But my son's so fucking bad that no one wants to take him for a weekend. That sucks.
It's very
And I mean,
isolating.
even people who don't have a baby kid, they see their single friends. Hey, we're going to go club tonight. Dude, my bedtime's 9 o'clock because that little shit's going to wake me up at 6. You know,
Yeah.
that, you
No.
know, it's always something.
Yeah, no, like when we were talking about what to talk about, I was like, Jennifer and I go to a support group for adoptive parents, and it's a common theme in our support group of how no one believes
Yeah.
how bad the kids are, or how difficult it is, and you just feel lonely.
Yep.
And like, admittedly, Jennifer and I have each other.
Yes, definitely. I don't know what I would do without you,
Yeah.
to be completely honest. Well, I probably wouldn't have him because
No, yeah, you wouldn't have adopted.
there would have been no way I could have. I have no help.
Yeah.
You're my saving grace.
But it's, yeah, like even for parents with parents for kids without issues, it's still isolating.
Oh yeah.
Because especially this day and age, where it's like people move around a lot, and you don't live close to family members a bunch.
Right.
It's like I struggle to find friends that, I mean, they almost have to have kids.
For you to be friends with them because single people don't want to hang out with kids.
Yeah.
I understand that. I was never one of those people because, I love kids. I did before I got a kid, but I'm kidding. But yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. It's isolating.
Yep.
And once you mix it, well, and like when you mix in interracial adoption, not so much for your family, but for mine, like I felt it isolated from certain family members. I'm not going to name names.
Really?
Yeah. Not direct, like, oh, we don't want this black child around.
Oh, no. I understand that. But yeah.
But yeah, I felt it from extended family members where it's like, oh, we're viewed differently.
Right.
And being a gay parent, too, finding a gay man a single gay man that wants to be around kids is like finding a needle in a haystack.
Yeah. Thank you, Benjamin and EJ.
Yes, we love y'all both.
I don't know if EJ listens, but they're the only ones that really kind of stuck out of our friend group. I mean, like,
well, I mean, like,
you still have your friends come over.
Yeah.
And I still get to go see my friends when we have our, but it's not mine is more half a year, every 6 months.
You're talking about Drew and Tiki?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we have the fam comes into town, like Drew's birthday or homecoming weekend for A&M.
And I would imagine it's like tough. Well, like I don't have Kalias has her own problems, but a kid like Wesley you can't leave him alone because he's just going to rob everybody blind.
Right.
I can't even imagine how isolating that feels.
Well, like I said, no one wants to watch him.
Yeah.
And Mom would be like, I'll take him. But then it's, what's he going to do at their house?
Yeah.
But then, of course, he's a fucking angel. She did get to... Now, my mom has never ever said anything about, like me giving him medicine,
Right.
Like, how there's some people out there that are like, that kid doesn't need medicine. He just needs...
A good whooping.
Or something.
Yeah.
She did get to, while we were on our cruise, get to see him without him having taken his pill. And she gave him his pill, and she was like, I was about to whoop the shit out of that boy. So she got a little taste of just like how bad his ADHD is.
Yeah. How out of control he is.
Right. I mean, that's not even like the stealing or... getting into that kind of trouble. That's just medicine.
Yep.
And it's crazy because, she never told me, or she never said to me, that boy don't need medicine, he need Jesus. Because I can hear people be like, saying some shit like that. Nah, this boy needs medicine.
Unless Jesus has given him his Adderall.
Yes.
He needs some fucking Adderall.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not, well.
Or whatever he's on.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it is funny how different kids and families kind of deal with that. Mm-hmm. But I am very fortunate to be the minority in my family.
You and your mama?
Me and my mama, yeah. So like all my siblings are black, or half, because Patrick's, and it is good for Wesley to see that as well. So I never had because a lot of times it was when we were in those adoption classes, will you keep them, with, teach them their culture? I have no problem with that. Like the oldest friends I have are black. I am part of their family and go to their family reunions, which are all black people pretty much.
Yep.
So he has no problem with that. But because he steals,
they don't want him around.
And you won't let him in the house.
Yeah, we can't.
So
anymore.
if I were to want to go away for a weekend.
Yeah. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with people who don't even have someone that would do that, how?
It's 50, 60 years ago when families didn't move far away, I think it would probably be a lot easier because you kind of had a built-in community. I think Jennifer got her drink down the wrong pipe.
Sorry. My bad, y'all.
But nowadays, you don't live near your mom and dad much anymore. Your siblings are off usually away from you. So,
yeah.
Because, I don't have any, all my family's back in Texas. My mom and brother are here, but they don't have kids of their own.
Right.
And I'm also the baby.
Well, I was about to say, all your family in Texas are all
much
older than you because you're the youngest, out of your cousins.
Yep.
You don't really have, close age.
Yep. Kelly's the closest, but she's in St. Louis.
Right. And my cousin Trish, she's the only one closest to me in age, and she's in Indiana.
So it's nowadays and the idea of making a parent friend is it sounds great. I would love to make some parent friends, but I will tell you right now, I am super hesitant because I know, especially if they're kind of religious.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, are we going to face some sort of some feelings about us being a same-sex couple?
Right.
Or,
is their kid going to say some stuff to your daughter?
Yeah.
Because your daughter is trying to figure out her sexuality right now. So she might say something, and then this religious kid says some shit back to Clea. Yep. And I, for one, will not allow that. And I'll be like, look, kid.
Listen here.
I don't care what your parents say. You can go and get.
Yeah.
But I feel like the podcast, we've met some friends.
We have. But again, as we get into the tween years, it's even with Kalea's 2 extracurriculars, when the fuck do we have time to do anything?
Yeah, there's no time.
I was Jennifer and I are the fact that we're able to record this podcast is a blessing. I mean, the fact that you come over and I get to liquor you up and give you food and you do this is amazing. Because I don't know any other friend. I don't have any other parent friends that have the time to do this shit because they're all oh, I gotta go.
It's just because I don't let Wesley do anything.
Well, you also don't have time. You don't have the time even if you wanted to, I don't think you would have the time to. Well, you did some extracurriculars once.
We did basketball.
But even that was a big time draw for you.
Not really. I mean, because it was through the Boys and Girls Club, so it was, the only bad thing was during the week when they had like a 9:00 game. My bedtime is 8:30.
Yeah.
I have to wake up for something. He can't be up that late because he, at a certain point at night, and you've seen this, he turns into a monster. And it's because he's sleepy, but he won't admit that he's sleepy. And if we're not home where he can be in his room, I mean, mind you, he has snuck his laptop from school in his room and he stayed in his room, but it's his room.
Yeah.
So he just passes out, as you know, when it's that time.
Yeah.
But if we're somewhere else, it is, I don't stay out after 8:30 because I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, no, there's been many a night where it's just like he turns into a little shit. It's like it literally is like a 3-year-old fighting sleep.
Yes.
And how awful they get.
Yes.
When they're fighting their sleep.
Yes. And this is a 13-year-old that has just, put holes in walls and, done bad, so at this point we will come over, it's today's Saturday. If we want to do dinner, if we don't do dinner by like 7, I'm like, dude,
yeah,
I can't. I'm just going to get something and let him be at home because that's how bad it is. Because I can't. It's too much.
Speaking of like other people's scenario, do you know if your parents felt kind of isolated too? Well, I mean, what about your mom? Because she was kind of like...
my mom, I think she was.
Because she was like in a different country.
Yes.
With a daughter.
I was made in Germany, but I was delivered in the States.
No, I just meant. I guess. How long did your dad have primary custody? Because
he didn't really.
Well, I know he didn't raise you, but like
he didn't.
you lived
I
with
stayed
him.
at his house. Mama still took me to school and picked me up and took me back to his house.
Oh, okay.
I chose that. That was my choice. And there was never like a court thing or.
How long was that for, though?
Shit. Dude, I was like 12. You trying to make me remember back then? I want to say it was like a year or two.
Okay.
It wasn't long that I went to Mama's.
Okay.
Because I was like, I mean, it's so funny because I've always been a really good kid. Like, didn't really get in trouble at school. Didn't get, like, the law. I might have went to some parties. I might have drank underage. I might have smoked underage, but it wasn't to excess. It wasn't in a bad, like, situation. Mm. There was never, like, cops or anything like that involved. So I have no idea about, like, being bad to an extent where I'm in a cop car.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to the D home or an alternative school kind of thing. So, like, I've never had any of that. So my father worked third shift, so he slept all day and then he worked all night. Mm-hmm. And I lived at his house. I could have been like the party central house. Like, we could have done anything we fucking wanted to. And I didn't want that. I pretty much stayed at my friend's house. Like, she's like, okay, here's dinner. Y'all, it's bedtime. And we went to fucking bed. But it was at their house, not at my father's house. And then I got to the point where, like, why the fuck am I doing this not some random person's house, but this is not my parent.
Yeah.
So why am I not at my mom's? Because she had gotten a 2-bedroom specifically
for you.
Eventually, she knew. And so I was like, you know what? Oh, he got a new woman.
Ah.
I forgot about her. And so then they got married. And then I had I don't know how old he was. He was significantly older than I was.
Stepbrother?
Yeah. I don't remember his name or any. The only thing, so one memory is all I have of this dude. He could drive. I was probably 13, 14. He could drive. He loved Vanilla Ice. I want to say he was military because somehow we got on base.
Okay.
And he was like, we went weightlifting. Okay. So, like, we went to the gym on base. He's bumping Vanilla Ice in his SUV. I can't remember what kind, but I knew it was a bigger kind of automobile. And that's all I know about this dude. I don't know what happened to him after, before, how old he is. Nothing. I don't even remember his name. But so my father married that lady, and then they ended up moving up to Wisconsin, I think. And before that, when he married her, I was like, because he had already had a girl in that had, or woman in, that had 2 kids. One was my age and one was like 6, 7. And I went through that and I was like, I'm not going through another lady. So I was like, Mom, I'm coming home.
Well, I guess my point and all that was your mom must have felt super isolated just because she was she's from Germany and she didn't
In the beginning, yes. They would do the bowling league.
Okay.
So that way Mama can interact with people. And then, of course, like I'm maybe 5 or 6 and there's a 12-year-old watching like 5 kids under the age of 6.
Good safety measure.
Because, that's how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
When we moved to Huntsville, Mama met her best friend. And she had 3 kids. Joey is like, I want to say he's like a year younger than me. Brucey was 2 years older than me. And Elena is like 4 years older than me. I want to say. I don't remember. But we all went to the middle school. So Mama and my Mama's best friend would just walk together. They talk, have a good old time. When we went to Germany, they still were in contact. So I don't think she felt isolated when she met her people. And then when we moved back to the States and then they divorced, it wasn't much longer after that she met Pops. And then she had Pops and his family.
True.
And I know Pops' brother Tim would come over with his girl and they would like play spades and have, get-togethers. So I don't think she ever felt isolated then. It was pretty much, I'd say probably like the first 3 years of my life would probably the worst for her. Because like when she was in labor with me, he was nowhere to be found. He was probably at a bar. So she had to call a cab to take her to the hospital to give birth to me.
Right.
So like, I'm sure that was
isolating.
Like bad. I can't imagine hey, will you come pick me up? I got to go, because that's just kind of how it was back in the day. You just go. And I mean, this isn't the times where the dads were out in the waiting room because it's 81. I'm pretty sure dads could be in the delivery room at the time. I don't know. But he was just nowhere to be found because he was an alcoholic. So, he'd go to work. He was a very functioning alcoholic, though, because he worked in the military. He went to 2 different wars. He did multiple tours in Desert Storm and Desert Shield. So I have no idea how they didn't kick his ass out. But, I mean, I know how much he drank because I used to have to crush the beer cans. And then, I saw the bottles and then he would do other things, too. So I know at least the first 3 years of my life was very isolating. And then when he went like on some type of tour and we moved from Colorado Springs and then we stayed with my grandparents and she really got to know my grams and my gramps. And that was a good time, I think.
That's good.
I want to say, I was a baby, so I don't really...
I can't, thinking back to my parents, I know they had friends. I don't know, I just don't... My memories...
But they had family around so much. Well, I thought everyone would go to the lake house.
We did, growing up, we did go to the lake house, twice a month.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Think about what we do once a month.
True. I don't know. I do think she probably had more... They probably had more friends. I should say mom, because dad was kind of not a loner, but he was more the stereotypical dad, where it's mom was responsible for all the social engagements. And
gotcha. And he just went.
Yeah, he just went.
I wish I would have met your dad.
He was such a sweetheart. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I got the impression they were loners. They were loners just in general, so I don't know how.
They had each other.
I don't know how isolated they were. But
I bet you they didn't. Let's ask Mama Ruth. I bet you she didn't feel isolated as long as she had your dad.
I would imagine she felt isolated when Kyle was going through his rough patch.
Well,
yeah, from junior
the military
high,
school.
Yeah, from junior high till probably his sophomore year in high school. I bet she was pretty isolated.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, the more difficult the kid, the more isolation I think you feel. So for all our 15 listeners, if you're thinking about adopting, make sure you have an incredibly good support system.
Have your village.
Yeah.
Definitely. And so talking about village, my sister, the youngest, has twins that are sophomores this year, juniors this year. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
I don't think.
I'm just because I can't remember. But the twins, who I held when they were born, which is just whoa. and they're in high school. That just like, they watched Wesley because Boys and Girls Club closed. So I paid them. So I got to give them a little money. And then they had help because my nephew Noah is significantly younger than they are. And they don't want to play with him.
Right.
So it helped them watch Noah and also got paid because then Wesley was there to play with Noah.
Right.
So it was perfect. And they fed him.
Where were you going with the story?
The village.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
Because because I couldn't ask you to have him all day and it'd be 102 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And him being on the back porch all day. At least, he had
someone. Yeah.
Yeah, air conditioning. He could go in someone's house.
Gotcha.
I just told them don't have anything out that he could steal.
You were going on this tangent.
I said village. Speaking
I know,
of village,
but I was like, where's she going? She's going with this story.
I mean, it was just to say, you can use
village.
anybody
Yep.
in your village because, I never thought holding the twins when they were born that they were going to be watching my son because 13, he needs a babysitter. I know some people who just let their 13-year-old stay at the house all day.
I mean, when
Your
Clea hits
10-year-old, she stays for a couple hours.
Yeah. I mean,
I would never.
Well, yeah, you couldn't. He'd
Right.
rob you blind or burn the fucking house down.
Exactly.
Well, this is probably a good transition spot.
Is it?
I think so. We're already at 57 minutes.
Well.
So for all our 15 listeners, if you have
Do
any...
we have more than 15?
I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes. But if you have any funny stories about your kids...
Or if you need some bad parenting advice, or if you have any ideas for topics...
Please email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com.
That is right. Please.
Please. We're always...
I mean, topics.
Yeah.
What you want to hear about.
Do you want to come be on the podcast?
Yeah. We're trying remotely, so...
Yeah, we've got...
And then we'll do video.
Yep. For the people, the 59 downloads we got in Saskatchewan, if you want to tell us all about.
Because I know nothing about Canada.
Yeah, same.
I was about to say Canada. Yeah.
So, please email us.
Yep.
All right, Miss Jennifer, what have you been snacking on?
We've been snacking on pineapples.
I actually haven't been snacking on it. How is
I
it?
have. I'm done.
Are you done? Is it good?
Yeah, they're very good. So every once in a while, they'll go grocery shopping, and I don't know if it's Zane that likes the pineapple so much, but he'll get a whole pineapple, cut it up, put it in the fridge. Sometimes it gets kind of put into the compost, and sometimes it gets eaten. But it is really yummy. It was very... Yeah. I might get me some more.
I think we got it at Costco the other day.
I got you. All right, so cocktail, Jason's cocktail, pineapples are snack time, and your story time this time, sir.
Yes.
So tell me your story.
Well, I was trying to think about something with my kids, but I was like, I'll tell one of my little brothers from when I was in Big Brothers Big Sisters, Matt's stories. So Matthew, my little brother, he's turning...
Don't even say it.
I think he's turning 21 this year.
Oh my God.
It's either 20 or 21. I can't remember.
Oh, they're so old.
Yeah. I ran into him at Costco the other day. He's got a big old
With his girlfriend, right?
With his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's got a big old bushy beard on him.
That's weird because, they're just, in my mind, they're baby-faced still.
But anyway, I think they were probably about Wesley's age now, so 12, 13, somewhere in there, I believe.
Okay.
And Gwen, their mom, had a Ford Explorer, forest green Ford Explorer. She actually bought it in Germany and had it shipped back to the U.S.
She bought a Ford in Germany? Mm-hmm. That's just sad. If you're in Germany, you buy a BMW or a Mercedes or Volkswagen. You don't buy a Ford.
No, I apologize. It was a Toyota.
You still don't buy a
Anyway,
Toyota.
it was a 4x4 because, she told me that what happened was she was driving she was living off base and she was driving on base, mm-hmm. and it was snowing and she ran off the road and almost hit the colonel of the base, and he got out and helped her, and after that she decided to get a 4x4 something, and she loved it so much she had it shipped back.
Gotcha.
So I could be wrong. Gwen, I don't think you're listening anymore, but if you do, write me, text me. But I think it was either a Toyota Highlander or it was a Ford Explorer. Either way,
we're gonna say Toyota.
Okay.
I don't like Ford.
So she had this car she shipped back, had it for years. She asked the boys to wash it, So Matt, being an impulsive, ADHD-ridden little shit, decided to wash the roof and slipped and fell, and his butt landed straight on the window.
No.
Yes.
And like.
Oh,
Like
busted it. Like it didn't shatter it.
It did like the spiders. And,
Oh, no, it like caved in with his ass.
Oh my God.
So it was like $250, $300 to get the replace. She was so fucking mad. I was just like, oh,
I mean,
Matthew.
that's what you get for asking kids with ADHD that are baby kids to wash your car.
Well,
I'm sorry, Gwen, but
oh yeah,
go to a car wash. I mean,
think
I can't say car washes are safe because I got bumped and like rear-ended, not like hard, but rear-ended in a car wash. But it's better than that because he didn't do it on purpose. But why the fuck is he on the roof? You know,
she told him not to get on the roof too.
Well, that's why he did it because she told him not to. It's that ODD.
I was gonna say another story with that car. I remember one time I came over. He was probably a little bit older than that, 14, 15, and he was just drenched in sweat. I was like, "What were you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I was trying to see how long I could stand it in the car in the middle of the summer." So he got in the car, closed the door, no AC, car off, and I was like, "Babe, you could die." I was like, "You could literally pass out and not realize it and then die." And he's like, "Nah, it's all right, kid. You're gonna kill yourself."
Oh my goodness.
So yeah. I worry about that boy sometimes. He made it to 20 or 21, so I don't know how, but he did it.
He got there somehow.
Yep.
Some way. Woo. That's how, I mean, I can see Wesley so doing that.
Oh, completely.
You told me not to do this, so guess what? I'm going to do it because you told me not to.
And I could see him doing the same shit with the car. Like, I'm going to see how long I can take it.
Oh, yeah.
And then
someone at school said they did it for 15 minutes. So now I got to make sure that I can do it for 15 minutes. I can. Oh
fucking
my God.
Kids.
They're just, I mean, we just try to let them, survive to adulthood. Apparently, that's what I'm finding out.
Yes.
We just need to get them to that certain age and then hope and pray we've done enough
so they
that they
kill themselves.
Don't end up in jail. Or like you said, kill themselves because.
And not even like depressed killing themselves. Just
No,
like
stupid kill themselves. Yes. Yep. Ugh.
I will say that is one thing I do appreciate about having a granddaughter who is such a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
She would never do that because she's like, I'm not going to like put myself in danger.
Well, yeah.
Because I don't even think it's smart. She just like wouldn't even think of doing it.
No, because she's like, no, that somehow could hurt me, so I'm not going to do it. That is Kalia to a T. Yep. These kids.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks for listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating if you can on whatever platform you're listening on.
Which is mostly Apple.
There was one of them I found that I couldn't put any type of review on.
But I was looking at like our metrics, and majority of people listen either on iPad or iPod or an Apple product. So,
yeah. Okay.
So yeah, for Apple Podcast listeners, please give us a rating. We appreciate it.
Please.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask why they don't get to go see the new Deadpool movie.
Because it's tough shit. Wait till you're 18. Or in Wesley's case, 35. Yeah, then you can watch it.
Get a job and pay for it yourself.
That's right.
Bye,
guys.